Hi, I'm John Blaginger, and we're going to talk to you today about risk management and risk appetite. Greg Hutchins is the other part of the word, and he'll be talking in just a little bit. What we're going to cover today is the fact that you are a risk manager. In your personal life, you manage risk all the time. And we're going to relate that to the work you do as a quality professional. How does risk management relate to the quality work you do? And then how does the work you do and the risk management stuff that you do relate to the senior leader's perspective of risk? So can you tie it to the thing that most senior leaders are most focused on is risk management? Well, let's start with a definition. Risk management is the process of evaluating the likelihood something will happen and the impact if that event happens. So it's a calculation of there's some kind of impact and there's some probability that will occur. And you are exposed to more risk. Obviously, the more likely something is to occur and the greater the impact if it does occur. From the first time that you walked up the ladder to a high dive and stood at the edge, you experienced risk. You had a sense of risk, and depending on how much risk you felt, you would either jump into the water or possibly climb back down the ladder. And I know I stood up there for 10 minutes the first time, and then I finally jumped in. Other things that we do, some of us snowboard. I snowboard. I don't snowboard like this guy. I stay close to the snow. People have babies. There's a lot of risk around babies. The health of the mother, as well as paying for food and clothing and wheeze and cell phones, college, all those kinds of things that come up when you have a baby. And then there's transportation. There's driving, there's flying, and all of those have risk. And some people do these things and some people don't. And it depends on their risk appetite of whether they would go ahead and jump off the diving board, have a baby, fly in an airplane, jump out of an airplane. So that's about risk appetite. A definition of risk appetite is how much risk you are willing to take in order to attain some sought after objective. So key to risk appetite is an objective. And that sounds great, except in your personal life you probably don't have a lot of objectives written down. So I would like to go to the Declaration of Independence, which describes the inalienable rights that we have of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And these kind of, at a high level, describe objectives that a person has. The first personal objective is life. To reduce your risk of an early end to life, you would probably avoid swimming with sharks. Although if your objective was to film a great shark attack, you might swim with sharks. You also probably wouldn't walk down an alley with a hooded man with a knife. You try to stay healthy. You don't go play golf in a lightning storm. And the ultimate impact to these kind of risks to life is just that, the end of life. Liberty is about freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom to get a job, freedom to buy a house, freedom to vote. And there are things that can impact that freedom. Happiness is a little fuzzier, but I will define it as comfort, being fulfilled. And there are things that can impact how comfortable you are. If you had decided to have a baby, you could have this baby, and you probably wouldn't be very happy. The other thing, happiness ties into self-image, what you think of yourself and how you present yourself to others. And there's an impact to that. In A Christmas Story, this kid decided to be cool and got double dog dared and stuck his tongue on the flagpole, which limited his freedom to walk away. You'll notice that many of the objectives conflict. So your happiness around self-image might encourage you to do something that is actually dangerous to your health or your freedom. When I was a 16-year-old, my friends and I would like to drive fast, and we did that without considering the risk of getting caught or getting in an accident. So in addition to having conflicting objectives personally, we also have many affiliations, and those affiliations have objectives. So I have objectives, my family and I have objectives, my work has objectives, my community, my city, my nation. And so when we look at risk management, we have to consider our affiliations as well as our conflicting objectives. Considering the impact and the probability of an event happening is a very rational thing to do. However, in our personal life, we often are not rational. You could go look at the Darwin Awards, if you'd like to see some very irrational things that people have done that expose them to great risk and even death. So, assuming that we are rational, I would like you to reflect on this question on the screen.